Let us see how to set up passwordless login within the host on which we are going to set up single node cluster. It is required so that we can run some scripts to start the required components with respect to HDFS and YARN once Hadoop is set up. To validate whether SSH keys are generated or not, you can actually run this command called as ls-ltr, then tilde is nothing but home directory, then slash, then .ssh. You do not see any private key and public key files here, which means there are no keys that are generated. Now we should be able to run the command called as ssh keygen. It will take care of setting up required public key and private key. Once we get required public key and private key, we should be able to copy the contents of the public key onto the authorized keys so that we can actually log in using itversity as user onto this machine from this machine itself. Let's take care of all those steps so that we ensure that we have passwordless login to log in using itversity user within this machine itself, so that at a later point in time we will be able to start the services without any glitches. Now let's run ssh keygen command, hit enter. The default files I want to generate are nothing but id_rsa and id_rsa.pub. id_rsa will be private file, id_rsa.pub will be public file. I don't want to change the naming convention of the file, and hence I am leaving it as default. I can hit enter here. I don't want to have any passphrase, and hence I'm hitting enter here as well. If you want to provide any passphrase, you have to enter it twice. I don't want to enter any passphrase, and hence without typing anything, I'm just hitting enter. Now, if you look at .ssh folder using ls-ltr command, you see two additional files. One is id_rsa, second one is id_rsa.pub. We have to copy the contents of id_rsa.pub to authorized keys so that we will be able to log in using SSH onto this machine using this user without entering the password. Let's go back to the material here. We should be able to use this command to copy the contents of id_rsa.pub into authorized keys. I can copy this and then I can paste it here and then hit enter. Now let's run ls-ltr on tilde/.ssh to check the size of the files. If you compare the authorized key size before copying the contents of id_rsa.pub, it is 2665 and now it is 3064. As we have added the content of id_rsa.pub to authorized keys, we are seeing the increase in the size. It confirms that the contents of id_rsa.pub might have copied to authorized keys successfully. To validate whether it is copied successfully or not, you can say ssh localhost like this and hit enter. It will prompt you like this for the first time. You just have to say yes and hit enter. Now it have launched another session using same user on the same host. You can see it here. If you exit, instead of getting out of this machine completely, it is going back to the previous session. From this session, we have got into another session using sh command. You can also say ssh itversity at localhost like this to confirm that you are able to log in using the user on this machine without entering the password. Make sure you set up passwordless login and also validate. Without this, you will not be able to start the key components once we set up Hadoop on this machine. Passwordless login is prerequisite, and hence you need to ensure that it is set up properly and also it is validated properly to confirm that you have successfully set up. If you are a newbie, it might be a bit challenging. In case if you run into any issues, you can sought our help and we will take care of helping you to ensure that you have passwordless login on this machine to the same user on this machine. Without this, don't go further and set up Hadoop. You might be able to set up the Hadoop, but you will not be able to start the services. So make sure you have the passwordless login from this user on this machine to this user on this machine set up successfully.